In this video, we're introducing our instant coffee collaboration with Saturnbird. Welcome, my name is Patrick Rolf and this is Coffee with April. For this episode, we're doing a little bit of an introduction, or we want to share with you a collaboration that we've been working on for the last year pretty much and is now live. It's a little bit of a special one as it's based on instant coffee. Instant coffee is something that we've been curious about. We've been trying to do in different shapes and forms. I think the most prevalent or famous one is most likely Sudden, that was started like a few years back. It was kind of a hype when they started. And I think ever since, everyone has been trying to do, how can we make tastier instant coffee? We tried some stuff from Savage Coffee, Jameson, and thought that has been kind of interesting. And on our path, we've been kind of tasting a few different versions. Now, a few years back, I was in Shanghai for the Shanghai Coffee Festival, and that's when I met up with the team behind Saturnbird for their first time, and they basically do instant coffee. So they're specializing in really well-packaged products where they're kind of trying to bring high-quality instant coffee into especially their local markets, so China. So at this point, this product is only going to be sold in China, but we're hoping to have some of it here in Copenhagen and in our store in Korea within a few months as well, right? So it's going to be available. Basically, we've been going back and forth trying to figure out how can we make instant coffee tasty. And there's a few different challenges with instant coffee, of course. The main challenge being that the coffee is already extracted once, so it's quite difficult to extract it again. But as with everything, if you have a good raw material, if you know how to roast it, and if you treat it well, there is a lot of room for improvement. So we kind of see this product as a first step for April, kind of trying to discover how can we have better instant coffee, because it's actually a brew method or a way of enjoying coffee that is increasing in popularity, most likely because it's so easy and it's so convenient, right? So my last trips to Korea, forth and back, I've actually been drinking quite a few of these, and I'm kind of happy with them. So in this video, we're here just to introduce them. We're going to introduce both the instant coffees, which we're going to brew in two different ways, and we're also doing a roasted coffee collaboration, which, full disclosure, is not roasted by April, it's roasted locally. So we sourced green coffee together with them. We set up the profiles and decided the general flavor notes and so on together, but it's a product roasted by them and distributed by them. So it's a collab product. It's not an April exclusive product, right? So brewing that though, first, using the April brewer, as per usual, we're gonna be dosing 12 grams of coffee. Grinded a little bit coarser than usual. We're again up close to the 700 microns here. A lot of the brews in the store at the moment is around 650, so it's a little bit different, right? We're gonna do a basic 2-pour structure. The water temperature is at 94 degrees Celsius. And again, it's 100 grams in 10 seconds. 50 gram circle, 50 gram center. Now, the coffee we've chosen for this product, which I think is a lot of the key behind how we're making this actually quite tasty, because a big challenge has been finding a green coffee that is suitable taste-wise, consistency-wise also, because when you produce instant coffee, you do a little bit more volume than what we're used to. So the coffee that we've found here is a wash process Caturra and Catuai from a producer or farm called Gamboa in Tarasú in Costa Rica. They've been farming coffee for many, many years, and they're kind of an established farm. It's not who we normally work with, but tasting their range of coffees, we've been quite happy with it, right? So what we've been going for here is a coffee with very clear, kind of simple flavor notes, as in a coffee that is too complex in the world of instant coffee doesn't really translate very well. So here what we're going for is really kind of a stone fruity, chocolatey kind of vibe. And this wash process coffee does really, really well within that kind of context. So the filter coffee is brewing. We're just going to show you the instant coffee. And one of the reasons actually why I got a little bit into instant coffee in the first place was actually the milk version of it. Something I haven't really considered because I'm not a person that drinks so much milk. But it's kind of interesting what happens when you pop one of these into, in this case, 200 grams of cold milk, right? So that's what we're going to do first. The second one is going to be with hot water, right? And obviously they have a few recommended recipes. We've been trying this for a while now, so we've been kind of coming up with our own little recipes. So we're gonna actually stick with 200 grams of water, which is a little bit less water than what they're recommending. they would recommend somewhere between 250 up to 300. But we actually find that this generates a sweeter, a little bit better balanced cup of coffee. So we're going to pop this in as well. Then we're going to find something to start with. Then we're back. So a quick stir, I do this if I'm in an airplane or something similar as well. It just seems to really make sure that we have that kind of proper saturation. And it's the same with the milk here, right? Now, obviously, what kind of milk you're using is going to have a big impact on the taste of this. We're using fully organic, high-fat, unhomogenized, basically very tasty milk from Copenhagen. So we're noticing that that has a massive impact on, let's say, or in consideration to any other milk you might be using, right? Just give that a quick stir. Naturally, you can do this hot if you want to as well. But we find that the cold version is actually a little bit better. So cool, all three of them are brewed. We're gonna take a little bit of a break, have a quick tasting on all of this, and then just come back with a little bit more feedback. So what we're ending up with here is basically a very sweet coffee, very balanced coffee that is very kind of milk chocolate stone fruit driven, right? So you don't have that kind of, let's say, normal sparkling acidity that is kind of synonymous with a lot of the coffees that we're doing, right? But that's also something that with instant coffee, we find it very, very hard to translate positive acidity, which is also why we've chosen a coffee here that has a little bit less acidity than some of the other coffees that we've been trying, right? Because in the end, what matters is really the quality when it comes out in the cup, right? So instant coffee has always been about how can we improve kind of the low level of the coffee industry, right? So it's really for the situations where you're out traveling, you're on that flight, you're on that train, you're in the office, or you're visiting someone that just don't have any good coffee, right? So we really enjoy the fact that it's portable. You can bring it wherever you want to go, which is really easy, right? And it's kind of that easy to use way of brewing coffee, especially filter coffee, which is something for us here in Copenhagen is very important. It makes a lot of sense, right? When you pour it in some milk, it becomes just this really kind of toffee caramel vibe to it. I'm sure if you push some ice cubes in here, that will be better or just as good as like most iced lattes you can find in any kind of coffee shop, right? So that's an interesting one, right? When we're looking at the brewed filter coffee, again, we're getting a very sweet, kind of clean notes, a little bit more body, a little bit more structure, but overall a very kind of solid cup of coffee. And then again, the instant coffee here, still good, by all means considering, right? In the world of instant coffee, it's always hard to find instant coffee that allows you to taste the origin and the terroir and the varietal and the processing, right? Which are the kind of key factors of what we're trying to do here at April. And we think what's interesting here is that you're actually able to taste that origin. And that's something that we're kind of striving for. So as we already said, this is kind of the beginning of a new collaboration. These products eventually will be available here as well. It will come with a little bit of time and patience. And then we're looking forward to kind of tweak this, make new alterations and new versions of this as well to hopefully include a larger range of different coffees as well, right? With that, as always, we're super curious. Have you tried anything from them before? We know there's a series of good roasteries that already done different collaborations with them. What is your favorite instant coffee? Is this something we're interested in, or are we not interested in instant coffee at all, right? We're going to take this conversation over to Patreon, make sure that some of our Patreons get some samples sent out so they can taste it as well. So if you want that, please sign up. And with that, we just want to thank you for watching. We want to give a special thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. It's because of you that we are able to continue to make these videos. And we want you all to feel free to always come with suggestions and ideas on the content that you want to see because we are doing this for you and because of you. Thank you from all of us here at April.